How's it going, everybody? Rye right here today, and we are back with your Calgary Flames here in episode number 1, and we are officially going to get things rolling today. But before we do, guys, make sure to subscribe if you are new, if you're a Flames fan, or if you're just finding the channel. It's popping up on your recommended. Make sure to subscribe because we have a lot of fun content coming up for you guys. I'm very excited to get this series started, as well as some other fun niche things here in 2024. But you guys voted in the last one, and you guys kind of agreed with me that we should probably tear it down. Now, looking at the comments, and you know, some of you left some really detailed comments. I really appreciate those of you that leave insightful and detailed comments, or anybody that leaves a comment, I appreciate. But you know, we're in this together, right? So I've been playing around with the lines a little bit, and it's one of those things that you guys agreed that Lindholm's the kind of player that he's just too good, I think. I mean, you just look at his stats all around. He is insane. He's so good. The only thing that really drags him down is that physical category, only being 4 stars, right? I'm covering it up. But, you know, 91 offensive awareness, 92 passing and puck control. The defensive category is insane. Plus, he's got a pretty decent shot. So he's definitely going to get an extension considering what he's asking for. And then Huberdeau is probably somebody I'm not going to be able to move right away. 8 years left, $10.5 million. That's not the kind of contract that we can possibly move right now. But with Nazem Kadri, I definitely think that, you know, 6 years, $7 million. I think I could move him. And I think there is a contender out there that could use a player like Kadri for his salary. We are not that player. Backlund, same. We're not that team. Backlund as well. You know, really well-rounded defensive-oriented player here. Good shot too. I didn't realize how decent that was, but really every category for Michael Backlund is really good. But he's 34. He's got an extension, I believe, signed. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to give him to somebody that could use a 34-year-old two-way middle six center. Same thing with Blake Coleman, Dubé. Mangiapane is 27. He does have another year after this one at 5.8. So I think, you know, we are going to tear it down, but I would like to keep at least a couple players around so we aren't like that bad. But you guys can see I was messing around with it, and Connor Zary up here on the first line does get a +5 with Lindholm and Huberdeau. So that's exciting to me, the fact that he fits that first line chemistry with those two other guys. Because if he has a good season, he can potentially grow, hit that top 6 potential, right? And if he can get up to just an 85 by the time he's, you know, 23, 24, I don't think that's asking too much out of him. I know that's 2-3 seasons away. But still, I think Connor Zary is the kind of guy that can easily become a top 6 winger for us, not to mention whatever we get back from these trades. And this is just the forward core, right? I'm looking at Igor Sharangovich, too. He is 25. He's got a little bit of time left to develop. I think Mangiapane is going to stay. He is going to go. He's probably a more attractive asset to somebody else at 81. Bank on just another year of growth, fitting onto the third line for them. Dubé, I'm going to move him in this universe. I'm going to move him. He fits our second line well, but we'll see. Like I said, so the guys that I'm looking to move are kind of right here in the middle 6. Kadri, Backlund, Dubé, Coleman, Sharangovich. I think that's what, 5 of our middle 6 there, ready to move on from. We do need to keep some players. If I do get an offer or something for Mangiapane, I will probably take it. But now looking at the blue line, I think guys like Tanev and Uyghur are guys that I would like to move on from. 29 and 34. Tanev's the easiest of the two, 33, but the easier of the two. And then Uyghur does have quite a bit of value. So if we were going to get a good pick, I think it's out of him. He's solid, but again, he's not the guy for us. And we can make this more of a real retool rather than a full rebuild. Rasmus Anderson's 26, Hannafin's 26, Shillington's 26 here. Mark Pysyk we have in the minors, right? So we can call him up. He'll slot in fine here and be part of our little bit of a mini tank. We try and get a top pick here, and then move from there. As far as goaltending, I will keep Markstrom at least for now. I see no reason to move on from him. We don't have a goalie necessarily in the pipeline waiting. We don't have a goalie who, listen, if he starts costing us games because he's playing out of his mind, sure, I may move on from him. But an 86, 2 years left at $6 million after this one, right? Maybe I can move him on in the offseason. Maybe Vladar does jump up to maybe an 83, 84. We can bridge him until we get Dustin Wolf up here. Or maybe Dustin Wolf will have an amazing season down in the minors and be ready to be our starter, you know, next season, right? As far as guys down here that we could potentially call up, all of these guys, we got Matt Coronado here at 20 at 77. I probably will call him up and play him. And you guys already know that I've been eyeing up Pelletier here to be one of the players that we play. At 22 at 79, medium top 6. He's got enough, I think, to be a middle sixer for us when we gut the roster here. And at 22, he really needs to be playing if he's going to become maybe an 83 overall is really what I'm shooting for him. So I'm going to start messing around with some trades. We definitely need to do some scouting. Our scouts need to do their job, right? The NHL scouts, we have Fog of War on. I've got owner mode on. Call me crazy, but we'll go through like a season like this probably. And then if you guys hate the Fog of War thing and, we end up getting fleeced a ton, maybe I will turn it off, but I'm going to have to assign the scouts here. So give me a second and we'll probably jump forward to the next time I talk to you guys will be when I do have a trade to announce. So the Fog of War effect has really kind of made things difficult going through trades. I've got to be a lot more meticulous. Things are going to happen not as quickly, right? You can't just see what everybody's got, find the perfect player, and get them because you have to scout them first. And some of these prospects look good until you scout them. I know Vancouver offered me Lekkermiaki for Tanev. And first of all, I thought that was kind of funny that they wanted Tanev. But then Lekkermiaki was like a 68 medium elite is what it looked like. I know the bars weren't full, but I was like, that could be really interesting. He is a 90. He's a 19-year-old 71 with medium top 6. It just scares me. I don't think he'll ever be get good enough for us to see him in the majors. So what I've changed my approach to say, what can I give you for the assets I want, right? So I called Carolina here, asked them what they want for their first. They want Chris Tanev and then next year's 3rd and next year's 5th. I think this makes too much sense. Yes, Carolina's pick is probably going to be in the 20s at least, but it's still a first-round pick. So Tanev, I mean, he was not the guy I was looking at getting a first-round pick out of, but I'm absolutely going to do this deal. It makes too much sense. And there we go. Thank you for your service, Tanev. You're going to Carolina. That feels like a really fair trade to me. Tanev to Carolina, also giving up a 3rd and a 5th. I don't know why. It just feels like something I would see like in real life, like on deadline day kind of thing. Of course, it's the beginning of the season and we have no idea what's going to happen, but we know where we want to be. So I got a couple more moves to make. We got a lot more players to sell off. So let's go ahead and see what teams are willing to offer. So I've got the next trade I'm looking into. Now, this is one I put together myself, but I was looking through trade blocks, and Florida put Spencer Knight on the trade block. He's got 3 more years left at $4.5 million, and they want Nazem Kadri. This would work. They're accumulating, I think, $2.5 million more in cap, so it's not really that much extra cap they're taking on here. And from my perspective, the value is pretty even here. For us to get a medium elite goalie who's 85 at 22, he's easily going to be the goaltender of the future for us. Yes, it may be a rough year or two, but this also makes Jacob Markstrom expendable. And we could definitely find some goalie needy contenders, hello New Jersey, that we could potentially move Markstrom to. So is this going to go through Kadri for Knight? And I had to throw in Koss here. Jakub Koss just because just some AHLer because they have too many players on their roster right now. Trade accepted. They don't think anybody in Florida will come out on the short end of the stick. Wow. Okay, so they definitely feel like they got the better value there. I'm going to tell you right now, I think we absolutely won that trade. That is insane. I'm going to go ahead and keep going here because this is great. So guys, the next trade I am looking into is potentially acquiring Luke Hughes from the New Jersey Devils for Jacob Markstrom. He's 82. We say he's medium top 4. I bet he's medium elite, to be honest. And that's what makes me think this part of the Fog of War, I think this is a fair value trade. I wonder what New Jersey is going to say, right? Are they going to say it's close, or are they going to say we're not even in the same ballpark here, right? So I'm going to go Markstrom and Stromgren because they would have, I needed to add a little bit of value on both sides. Stromgren's actually got a bit more value than Malik here too. So I think I'm going to propose this trade. It doesn't meet our trade blocks. Okay, isn't very interesting. Okay, unless you really make it worth our while. So one thing that I looked at, I toyed with, some of the guys that they're looking at are Lindholm, Huberdeau, Coronado, right? Coleman is one of the names here, and I feel like if we throw Coleman in, they would be over the league maximum salary cap. I wonder, do they have anybody with ridiculously high salary left for 1 year that I could just take on? Tyler Toffoli is not exactly a throw-in. I guess it's a guy like McLeod here. They'd still be over the league maximum salary cap, so a guy like Coleman wouldn't fit in this trade. So I definitely have to figure out a skater that probably matches their block that ups the value, but we don't, and I can retain salary. I just don't want to do it for too long, right? Dubé is probably the name here that looks the most appealing. Now, Lindholm is expiring. I'm not giving up Lindholm. But I will retain, because we can only do this twice, right? But I'll do it once, because I don't know if it's going to work anyway. But we'll go Markstrom and Dubé for Hughes and Malik here. Propose the trade. It's rejected. Okay, it doesn't meet, and the value isn't there whatsoever. So, it does look like our scouting does impact the value as well, which does make sense. So, was just giving this a try. I can see what they'd want for Luke Hughes and see if Markstrom maybe is included in that and see if we can get something done. I doubt it, but if we take a quick look, I'll just keep you guys here with me real quick. Now I'm kind of stuck on the idea of getting Luke Hughes from the New Jersey Devils. He doesn't seem to have that high of trade value, but according to them, they want Lindholm straight up. So that's where their value is a single Elias Lindholm, which could be a good trade, but I think I'm going to keep Elias Lindholm around. Where one door closes, another one opens. I was looking through New Jersey's team, seeing what we could get, and I was looking at some of their young skaters, and we actually have Haminaho. I can't even say his name. Haminaho, maybe? Lenny here. Anyway, we have him pretty much fully scouted. He's 18 years old with medium top 6. 3 bars, we have him valued at 72. I asked them what they would want. They said Coleman, and then Bell was one of the options they gave me. Bell, he's never going to make it to the NHL for us, but Coleman here, 4 years left at his $4.9 million salary here, 83. I feel like at 31, moving him to get a young 18-year-old top 6 who could already be in the 70s, I feel like this is a win. We shed more salary, and I'm going to take this trade and accept your trade. There we go. Beautiful. So there it is, another prospect added to our pipeline, and we might need to look at some picks for next season, because I just looked at the pick situation. We've got a first, a second, and that's it, really, for next year's draft. So I may start to look into next year's picks, throwing those in as well. So maybe a third this year and a second next year in a trade for our remaining players. Just to show you guys who we have still left to move on from. Taking a look at the players here, I will just sort by overall, not rookie skaters. We'll go to all skaters here. Sorting by overall, we could still move on from Uyghur. Huberdeau is always an option still. Backlund still here. Mangiapane still here. And Sharon Govich are still here. So Uyghur is probably the next guy I might look to move on from. And we can see what teams will give us. He's got quite a bit of value. I mean, we could look to potentially trade with the New Jersey Devils and get that Luke Hughes deal fired back up. Don't think that is going to be one that's going to work, right? He is more similar to an Elias Lindholm value, but after sending them Blake Coleman, they really don't have the cap space to do it. So I'm going to keep looking around at some teams that are interested. Everybody's interested in Uyghur, so maybe I can look for some players like this, but there's still plenty of players, I think, that could be really, really exciting. So I'm shopping Jacob Markstrom around. I simulated a few more days to try and give my scouts a little bit more time to look for players. But I think in this trade, Buffalo was like the most interested team in Jacob Markstrom, and it kind of makes sense looking at their current goaltending situation in real life. And considering what Markstrom looks like to them, right? 86 overall, 33, right? He's a perfect bridge goalie for the next 3 years. Well, Devin Levi and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, one of them, whoever decides to grow, right? It just makes sense. So they offered me a second and a fourth. I'm going to see if I can bump that up to a second and a third. Trade rejected, but the value isn't sufficient at all. So we did good enough filling out what they needed. What else? Do they want any of our players here? They just want our young guys, which makes sense, right? Can I throw in a sixth and get that to go through? Oh, that would go through. So if we give up a sixth this year, we can get their third next year, because that would be our only third next year. But we also get another second this year, so we can have plenty of players to draft in this draft class here. So Vladar would have to be called up, but I am absolutely satisfied with this. Some of the guys are upset that we traded away Jacob Markstrom. That's okay. In the system, though, we'll go to goaltenders and we'll call up Vladar. Perfect. I'm really liking the way the team is shaping up. I think we're going to have a lot of assets and a lot of exciting players on the horizon. Hopefully we do kind of bottom out enough. But Backlund and Dubé are still, I think, the two remaining. Uyghur, he's got so much value. I want to keep him for a little bit so our scouts can kind of figure out who's out there of any kind of value. They're not doing a great job right now. I'm going to be honest. Like, I know it's only 2 weeks in, but there's so many, like, I just want to show you guys this real quick with the Buffalo Sabres. They think, like, every Buffalo Sabres prospect is, like, medium elite. It's hilarious. I wish this were the case, but it's absolutely not. Now, Benson, we know is... I mean, we could see if Benson for Uyghur would be a trade that they would do. Forwards, actually all skaters, Mackenzie Uyghur. It's pretty close. They'd have more than 50 skaters in the org because I guess Benson, they have him in the CHL. Rookie skaters, I know that Matthew Savoy, I believe he's medium elite as well at 19. He generally does turn out pretty decently. So let me see what they would want for either Benson or Savoy. Obviously, I'm playing on my own personal knowledge, but that's kind of what GMs do. You know, when you leave a team, you know who's good and who's not. So watching them in real life and using them in franchise mode here, I kind of get a vibe for who is good and who's not. So for Benson, there's no trades found. For Savoy, no trades found either. I know Tyson Kozak and Nadeau, they're not good at all. But I mean, I think Savoy, unless he got downgraded in the last one. Last time I checked, he is medium elite at 19. The overall, I think it's like in the low 70s. Could be a swing. I know Kisakov, I don't believe is medium elite. Neither is Kulik or Rosen. I mean, these guys, they're too high value. I wonder if they make trades based on what I know about the players or what Buffalo wants, right? So if I say Tage Thompson, it's not going to happen. Kulik should not be up that high. Peterka, I don't think is medium elite. He's been playing amazing, but Dylan Cousins, not going to move him either. So it doesn't really look like Buffalo is an option or a trade partner for us. Would they give us Jeff Skinner? No, probably because they would want too much and they don't have enough room and space. So I'm going to keep looking. I think what I might do is we may get into a little bit of simulation here. Waivers start now, so I kind of wanted to call people up and send them down, but there's really nobody I want to send down. We're just going to kind of trade them away. So I think for now, I'll keep looking around, but give them another few days before the season starts. We want to get up to that home opener here and make some more trades, and then we can finally get some simulation in here. We got just a couple days. We go up to this game against Winnipeg, simulate up to here, and we gave our scouts like about a week to get more stuff done. So I'm going to look around just before the game starts. And if not, I'm going to give them probably the rest of the month, like to have Uyghur on the team, because I don't want to, he's got so much value. I don't want to screw that one up. So I am going to call Buffalo back. We are dangerously close to being under the cap, which is probably why a lot of trades aren't going through or aren't being considered right now. I think if I move Uyghur, we are under the cap. So right now, and I don't want to retain salary on his deal. It's like 8 more years or 6 more deals or something like that. And I think Zemgus Girgenssen's here. He's the perfect kind of player that's going to play on the second or third line. He's an expiring contract. We'll see how he does. But $2.5 million for him, and it's a next year's 6th. I can part with that just to get under the cap. So Zemgus Girgenssen's welcome to Calgary. You're going to get as much ice time as you did in the 1 year you made this the All-Star game. So All-Star Zemgus Girgenssen's welcome to the roster. So moving Uyghur would still put us under the under the cap floor. So what we have to do is I'm giving like $1.5 million to like 2 forwards. Besides, I don't know if all the players that are currently in this lineup are guys I want to be giving as much ice time to as I am, right? And if we continue to move players, we are going to have to play guys like Coronado, who I think, honestly, I might play him on the third line and see what happens. But I think for now, what we need to do is just move some of these guys, just get some players in here that are just gonna be here for the cap hit and to help us tank, because this team really is gutted. Michael Backlund, definitely a guy that I'd like to move on from. Mangiapane, I probably will keep him just because $5.8 million is going to be hard to move, and Dylan Dubé at 2.3, we could do that. Backlund's 5.3 is going to be hard to move as well. So I think for now we'll hold on to these guys. I think Uyghur is probably, though, he's got so much value. I want to move him now. Those guys could be deadline pieces too, though. So I think once they sign, we should be good. Owner goals of value. I'm sorry. We lost the first game, but Pospisil got 2 goals. I love to see that. The young guns. Okay, Anders Bjork is going to sign. I did give him like 1.4 million. One more. Come on. I just need the... Shillington has been injured with a sore knee. I think the team's line must be edited. He's got a sore knee, guys. Ryan Zingle is here as well, by the way. I don't know if you you guys noticed that. But, oh, God. This is going to be so annoying. Head coach preferred lines. Oh, man, Dennis Gilbert. I'm probably going to make some roster moves right now. Take care of this, get the guys there, and then I'll catch you guys up when there is a trade, because there's just one more. I'm hoping for one more. Maybe I'll throw in some high salary player for us there, but moving Huberto is definitely off the cards right now. So I'm looking to take a swing on a trade here, and you know what? It kind of felt somewhat realistic to me. I know I haven't really been going for too much realism here. Spencer Knight, Jacob Markstrom, all that kind of stuff. But I was looking at through teams, you know, I could probably get Leo Carlson for Mackenzie Weegar, or if I added a bit more, Trevor Zegras from the Ducks. But I was looking into that one. It's like, you know, the Ducks just got Leo Carlson. They just drafted him. Top 3 pick, right? And then all of a sudden, top 4, maybe? I forget when he was picked, what number exactly. But, you know, they just got him in the Bedard draft here. Would they really move on from him? I know I'm not going for ultimate realism, but I was going for at least something I can feel good about showing you guys, right? And this one, I can at least kind of make a explanation here. Alexis Lafreniere, a guy who's played 3 years, hasn't really developed into anything for them, and they're only playing him 11 and a half minutes so far in the first 2 games of the season. We have him fully scouted. He's 22, 83, medium elite, listed as a second line forward, and these stats are very good, guys. He's got a great shot, really good offensive awareness and puck skills, and then the defense isn't too bad, right? And he's going to be playing top minutes for us. He's going to be playing as many minutes as he can have, and hopefully we can revitalize Lafreniere's career. Now, they want Weegar, so I threw him in there, but they'd be over the cap. I figured that Barclay Goodrow getting out from under his contract would be doing them a favor. I know he's 30, 3.6 million, but it also helps us get back to the cap floor. You know, now we're going to be sitting at 69 million. They also wanted Pysyk and I believe Ruzicka. I don't want to give those guys up, right? We need Pysyk just because we need bodies on defense. I know, I guess I could probably sign some players in free agency, but still. So instead, I'm going to try and offer them a 4th here and Kuznetsov. Jan Kuznetsov, 21-year-old defensive defenseman. He's 71, medium top 6. He's just kind of a throw-in, kind of like Pysyk was, right? Pysyk was just kind of a throw-in. So I'm going to give this a go, see if we can get this to go through. I appreciate Mackenzie Weegar. 29, though, 87. He's really good. It fits the scheme, but I'd love to get a medium elite forward, right? Somebody that can help us transition into the next wave, a new core, right? So Lafreniere here. Is it going to go through? It's just too far off. Okay. So we do have a couple picks, right? They wanted, I'll show you guys what they wanted. They wanted skaters matching the block. They wanted Ruzicka here. I guess I could offer them Backlund, but again, that's one of those, it doesn't help the cap situation. I could offer them Igor Sharangovich. They would be over the salary cap, and I don't, like, right? It's a very tight situation here with the New York Rangers. But take a look, Ruzicka, he's 81 at 24. He is medium top 6. So even if he grows 1 or 2 more overall points, he's fitting that middle 6 role, right? He could even slot into the second line if he fits chemistry-wise. He's a power forward. He fits the first and the third line. He can play pretty much anywhere. He's got pretty good underlines. I didn't want to give him away, you know? Obviously, Hannafin, Huberto, those guys are off the table. Backlund, Sharangovich, anybody making legitimate salary is really off the table. Mangiapane is making 5.8, so he's not off the table, or he's not on the table. But Pysyk here, you can see they wanted him. I mean, I guess I could give away Mark Pysyk if that's really what's going to get this deal done instead of Kuznetsov here, and then maybe a 4th. Throw that 4th round pick back in there. We got a bunch of seconds, right? So I could throw in a 2nd and keep our players. Actually, I say we have a bunch. We have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 3rd, and a 5th. Right? So I'm just loading up on early picks. But I think this one might go through. I really do. Propose the trade rejected is a bit low for them. Okay. I could probably get a third from somebody later in the season, but oh man, I really don't want to give that up right now. What goalies do we have that I can give away? Not really any. We don't have goalies. Got it. Rookie skaters. Anybody that I don't think is gonna amount to much. Siona. I think that'll be fine, and then I'll also throw in that 4th round pick. He is 20 at 68. I like the fact that we know our entire team. Like, that makes me happy that we know exactly what we got. So we're gonna throw him in there, see if we can get this one to go through. I don't love the idea of giving up Pissick, but, you know, listen, at the end of the day, he's not going to be around for more than one season. I can go find somebody similar to him in free agency. So, trade rejected is too far off. Okay. I may just go back to whatever trade they... Ruzicka, I don't want to give up Ruzicka. I'm being stingy about my picks. I really am, because I just don't want to give him up. But the skaters matching the block, Ruzicka, he's just got too much value. It's close. I'm going to workshop it here. I'm going to get it there. But we're close. So I may just bite the bullet and give them a 2nd round pick. I know we're trying to acquire, you know, assets and young players, but come on. It's Lafreniere. He's medium elite. He's 22. That 2nd round pick is never going to amount to whatever he becomes. And I don't think it'll amount to what Ruzicka is, nor Pissick probably. So I think this is a fair trade. Maybe let me throw in maybe a next year's, 4th and a 5th, right? Because we don't really have those next year. If this goes through, I feel pretty good about it. Rejected, it's too far off. Get rid of the 5th. And it would go through. Awesome. So we'd have to send down Pelletier and Rooney and call up Poirier. That's probably, I'm not sure exactly why that would be. Probably because we're adding 2 forwards. We need to send some down, but I'm cool with this. I think, you know, since we have to make some roster moves, I might as well try and throw in any kind of draft pick I can. Throw in the 6th there as well. Oh, wow. This is pretty tight, but I think I'm going to do it. There we go. Welcome, Alexis Lafreniere, to the Calgary Flames. Beautiful. So, Barclay Goodrow is going to be the perfect kind of player for us while we transition. So, right now, yeah, things are looking good. Do we have enough defensemen? We should with Osterley and yeah, how many defensemen do we have on the roster right now? Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4. What? We've got 5 defensemen in the system. I need to call up one of them, De Simone, probably, and then I will send down forward, and then I need to go sign some defensemen. So I think I'll probably send down Greer. He's 26, medium top 9. I guess we can see what he can do. We're not necessarily as worried about the salary cap anymore, so I'm going to send down Rooney. He does need to clear waivers, but I'm not too concerned about that. We need to send somebody else down so we can sign a forward. I think I will send down Anders Bjork. He was one of those signings that I made just to kind of get us to the salary floor. So we're going to confirm that. And I think now if we take a look at our defensemen, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll sign 1. De Simone will be our 7th defenseman. I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to go take care of that, and then we can get into some simulating. All right, so unfortunately, it took a little bit longer. The roster was full. I didn't even realize that. So I had to make a couple moves. I traded like a 7th in 2026. Well, so when I'm confused why that's gone, let me know. Remind me that I traded that 7th and just an AHL level player. I did sign Demers, I believe. There was a couple defensemen I offered a contract to, but they obviously couldn't come. We'll take a look at the defense, and yeah, it was Jason Demers. He had the highest. We knew his potential was exact top 4, and that was the highest of anybody in free agency. And you guys can see now Nick De Simone is the 7th defenseman. We have Gergensons and Zingle scratched, and here are the lines, right? We got Huberdeau, Lindholm, Lafreniere, Zari, Backlund, Mangiapane, Ruzicka, Dubé, Pelletier. I could even maybe move these guys up, like Pelletier up. Ruzicka, I could actually move him up probably over Backlund. But Backlund, I mean, he's going to be valuable enough anyway. So Ruzicka with Zari and Mangiapane, I want to get those guys the ice time that they need. And then we'll have Dubé with Backlund and Pelletier, right? A little bit spreading of the wealth there. And then Goodrow, Sharangovich, and Pospisil. So after his 2 goals to start the season in game 1, he has 1 more point. But I'm not too worried about that. Defensively, I like the top pairing of Hannafin and Anderson, Pissick and Shillington here, and then Osterley and Demers. Listen, guys, it's not. We're not trying to contend. I'm I'm not going to try and hide it. But our power play does get a +5, so I don't want Mangiapane on it, actually. Why is he here? I want Alexis Lafreniere. There we go. Lindholm, Huberdeau, Anderson, Shillington. Let's get Hanifin up here. If we're going to play, actually, what we should do is we should flip-flop with Demers, put Demers there, and then Anderson can play at lefty. Lindholm, Huberdeau, let's see, Lafreniere, move him there, and then Demers for, oh boy. So I will probably just go, I'll set up the special teams, but you guys get what I'm going for. We'll get the simulation done as soon as I'm done with this. All right, so there we go. We have now officially set up the special teams, and we're ready to keep going here. Lindholm, Lafreniere, and Huberdeau with Anderson and Zari at the point. And then power play 2 is Ruzicka, Pelletier, Mangiapane, Shillington, and Hanifin. So there we go. We should be all set. I wanted to give just some of these younger guys as much ice time as possible. Backlund, I know he signed for 2 more years. Probably somebody would look to move at the deadline, but I'm excited to get this +4. You know, that means Huberdeau's an 90, 92 Lindholm, and an 87 Lafreniere. Some of you guys meant to also mention to get the guys in the 20s to 24s that haven't quite broken out. And I kind of agree that that's kind of what I tried to do, but I also think there's a lot of youth. We don't have a ton of young, up-and-coming promising prospects. So hopefully what we did is right. You guys are still commenting on the video, which I absolutely love. It's fun to see the comments and see while I'm mid-recording if you guys are gonna agree with what I do or not. That's actually fun to see. But there's a loss, a win against St. Louis, and then against Edmonton. Calgary, Emilio Pettersson has been injured with a sore knee. Edit lines manually. Oh, it's the Calgary Wranglers. Oh, no. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to let head coach preferred lines, get that in there, and I think I'll just let that ride with whatever the coach decides. I think I'm going to actually set that up. Back to edit lines. Oh boy, who got injured for us here? I guess we'll put in Day Simone, substitute in all lines. Oh, it was Demers. Do we ever figure out what he actually is? There's our quick substitution. He's a 70. Well, we still think he's a 76. We haven't quite scouted him. He's been playing for us for a couple games now. Edit lines, man. I already did that. So a sore foot. That's super annoying. I'm gonna decrease the injury slider, I think. Oh my God. Okay, and this is somebody that they were trying to offer me plenty of times before. This 22-year-old. Our scouts thought he was medium elite for a second, but a 4th, a 7th, and Osterley for Nyazev, who's 22, medium top 4. He's not worth this trade. So I'm going to exit there. But against Edmonton, we are going to lose. Wow, lots of trade offers coming now. Fabian Lysell. I'm going to decline this. Late round picks for a mid prospect. So 3 and 6 to start. Obviously not great, but that's kind of what we want. But Anderson's got 8 points. That's what we love to see. And with 6 points, we are near the bottom of the league. So I'm going to make the sliders changes and let our coach decide what to do in the AHL. I'm going to give him full control down there. And then we can continue to the next month. We'll probably get up to early December, and then I'll let you guys give me your thoughts and feedback with where we're at. All right, so now that we've gotten all the setting stuff taken care of, let's go ahead and keep it rolling through November here. We'll obviously... It's going to have to rewire my brain in order to want to lose. He's sprained his ankle. I'm going to have, oh God, have the head coach replace him. Jason Demers is available, so I wonder if I can put him. God, oh my God. These injuries are so annoying. Give me 1 second. So it turns out somehow my injury slider got completely reset back to 50. So I've just nerfed that thing because I'm so sick of injuries. I want them on so we can have a reason to invest in depth and things like that, and it can make a difference in like playoff series, not having a player or something. But at the same time, it's so annoying to have them on all the time. So hopefully we can start to get healthy and you know, get the team we want out there. Mark Pysyk for a 4th is actually not that bad of a trade. I'm going to decline that for now, but it's something to look into. He's a very, very popular man. So Lindholm is back. Great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him just replace Gergensons. I decided to do that myself. So Lindholm, there we go. And then Sharangovich down, Backlund down, and there we go. We get the +4. Lindholm is so crucial to the way we play. I can't see. Oh my God, look at that. We're on a winning streak. We're now 7-7-1. What the heck is happening? Rasmus Anderson is carrying right now. Holy cow. Okay, I think we can probably go up to the end of the month and should be fine. We'll get up to December 1st, excuse me. Against Vancouver, we're going to lose that one. Okay, yeah, we do want to start bottoming out here eventually. Against Nashville, we lose that one. We do beat Dallas, but bounce back with a loss. Elias Lindholm, I'm gonna try and persuade Elias Lindholm, because I don't want to say that he needs more ice time or new line mates. But oh, there we go, perfect vote of confidence. He appreciates it. By the way, Backlund came and complained to me while I was editing the sliders. I was trying to stop the sim, and he came and was like, "Yeah, I'm not happy with how the team's performing. Blah 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 blah. I'm upset." So he's not happy, but the rest of the team seems to be happy, and we are not bottoming out as badly as the Oilers are. This is I guess this is fairly similar to what happened in real life at the start of the season. Yeah. So honestly, being 22 points in 23 games is kind of crazy for me to think that that's what our record is. I want to see who is the culprit there, right? And then we can start to look at some contract extensions. I'll have you guys talk about him. Ruzicka! What is he? Whoa, bro! Plus 10, 16 points on 15 minutes. That is odd. That is what we want to see. Let's stick with the forwards, though. Mangiapane is leading the way. I didn't even talk about him. He's that perfect two-way forward, that kind of guy that, but like to be a point per game and have 13 goals, he is shooting 25%. I wish we could capitalize on that and trade him and trick another team. But as far as our top line, Elias Lindholm is not playing well. He's got 11 points in 20 games. He is a -10. I'm not exactly asking them to be a plus, but I would have expected more out of Lindholm. Although Huberdeau, 17 and 23 is good. Lafreniere, 16 and 23 is also pretty good. Ruzicka is just killing it, 16 points and a +10. Connor Zary with 12 points. I'll take these. Jacob Pelletier with 10 and 22, so that's nice to see. Dubé is even, which is crazy. Backlund's -7, which is expected. But, I mean, honestly, all of these guys, I mean, even Gergensen's got 3 points in 6 games. And then on the blue line, Rasmus Anderson, and it's not even doing it on the power play. He is doing it straight up on the at 5-on-5. So he is elite. He's somebody to build around. And then Noah Hannafin, obviously, we want to sign him to an extension. 15 points, 6 goals, +2. This is pretty good. Osterley's got 7. I mean, Demers, Jason Demers is a 74, yet he's absolutely killing it for us. 4 points +6. I'll take it. Shillington and Pissick are not. Neither is DeSimone. In goal, Spencer Knight not having the greatest season, so it's kind of tough, right? We got Spencer Knight, and we want him to do well, but and grow at the same time. I don't want him to win too many games. So we're going to take a look at the contract extensions here. Man, injuries just really derail my vibe and my flow here. It's kind of crazy. I want to keep him on, like I said, but I really want to keep him as low as possible. But taking a look at the expiring contracts, it's Lindholm, Hannafin, Shillington. Dubé's an expiring contract. What is he asking for? He's asking for like $2.5 million. If he grows at all, it might not be a bad deal. And he's playing well, all things considered. How many minutes? Yeah, only 11 minutes. And to play as well as he is, that's not what I want to jump out and do right now. Elias Lindholm is not playing well, and he's playing 21 minutes. He is eating minutes. I will absolutely give him I think a 5-year deal at maybe 5.85. I think this is a great deal for a guy like Lindholm. Sub 6 for 5 years. At 28, he'll be 33 at the end of that contract. You know, it's almost $500,000 lower than what he's asking for, but he does want an extension. So to be 33, he's going to slot in perfectly. If we get this core, this nucleus of amazing youngsters, and they start asking for 12, 13 million, Elias Lindholm's going to be the perfect guy to put alongside of them at just 5.8. So I'm absolutely going to do that deal. But Noah Hannafin here. 6 years. This is the one I'm going to ask you guys on. What do you think we should do about Noah Hannafin? He's 26, medium top 4. He's probably not going to grow any more than an 85. I mean, to have him for 6 years at maybe $4.5 million, I feel like that's a solid enough deal for a guy like Noah Hannafin. And if he gets any jump from playing on the top pairing, it could be a really good contract. I don't know. I'm not convinced on that one. Oliver Shillington does not want a contract extension. He's been pretty poor. Still got a little bit of room for growth, but again, same thing as Hannafin. Unless it's statistical growth, it's probably not going to happen. Probably somebody I might look to move on from at the deadline. Ruzicka, oh man, I definitely have to offer him an extension. I think that's one that you guys would agree with me there. And then goaltending-wise, Wolf does want a contract extension. I think we can... Oh, man, he does. He wants a lot. I may bridge him for, like, 1 year. That's another one. You guys got to help me out with that one, too. But ultimately, the team is doing better than I had hoped, which is not a good thing, right? We want to kind of bottom out here and get an elite player. So, and it's tough, though, because we we did acquire some of those guys in their early 20s. You know, maybe moving on from Mangiapane is the next step here. He's got another year after this one. He is playing really well, 20 points in 23 games. The kind of guy that I could move on from. And then scratched right now, we've got Gergensons and Zingle, so we could move on from him for a pick maybe. I just want to update you guys on everybody's trade value so you can kind of get a sense of what everybody's looking at right now. So maybe we could even move him for a first. Lindholm is looking okay. Yep, Lafreniere, Huberdeau, Hannafin. Yeah, he doesn't have that much value. Where is he? Did I miss him? I didn't miss him. Holy cow, he has no value. Backlund has more value than he does? Mangiapane's value, I'd assume, would go up the longer the season goes on. But I mean, it's a smidge of trade value, right? Is that a second round pick? No, it's not even a second round pick. And that's a bad second round pick. So we got the Ducks third. Looks like he's worth about a third round pick. And moving on from him, we'd still be over the cap, but Backlund's the one that then would probably suffer unless we brought back some salary. So you guys let me know your thoughts there. I don't know. The team's doing better than I expected it to. I really want to get a shot at the lottery, though, so we'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you guys in the next one.
This a free for all, before we fall. This a free for all, before we fall.